Hey everybody, thanks for coming out to watch. I'm Lily Burns.
And I'm Farmer Jack.
And you're watching Farmer Jack and the Arkansas Agvocate. For our first episode, we wanted to try to discuss something that we've actually had a lot of people reach out and ask us about. Today is currently October 31st and tomorrow is November 1st, and the SNAP benefits are supposed to be put on pause tomorrow. So from a farmer's perspective, what is the significance of the SNAP benefits and the history of food stamps in agriculture?
Yeah, so great question. There's a long history with SNAP or food stamps and agriculture. I mean, literally, when you look at SNAP and food stamps, it was something the government started to try to solve two problems with one, right? Now, if we look at the history of it, we have to kind of have a little prehistory. You know, previous to World War One, everybody was basically a self-sustaining farmer. Everybody produced their own food, for majority, right? You know, we're subsistence farming in America at that time. So during World War One, Woodrow Wilson and his group decided that it would be beneficial for the American farmer to produce this great hordes of food to give to the Allies so we could win. From that, then the government started trying to interject and started to try to come up with these programs, whatever they could do, to right the farmer that they had figured out they had wronged, right? So that was the idea, was what can we do to help the farmer, since we made them do this, we made them produce all this extra food, so now we have to come back and try to help them, subsidize them some way, shape, form, or fashion, so they don't all go bankrupt. Because at that time period in history, you know, I think from like 1913 to like 1921, 22, we went from like 4 million farmers to 2 million. So lost over half our farmers in America from direct results from this stuff. So one of the solutions they come up with is trying to subsidize the government. Henry Wallace, Secretary of Ag, 1933, decides to come in with a program through the AAA that takes care of the overages, right? So he burns crops, he plows them under, he pours out the milk, and he kills all the pigs, right? Now this was in a time period when there was huge amounts of hunger in America, right? So by America in general, it was a very unpopular program.
Oh, I bet that was horrible, like burning all the food when everyone's starving.
Yeah.
That sounds like a very good idea to me.
Right, but he was trying to fix a fundamental problem. See, that's what we have to remember, right? So the farmer was getting absolutely, you know, paid nothing for their product. And so his purpose and his goal was to try to bring that in balance, right? And so he's like, the only way we can bring that in balance is to make the supply chain less, make there be less supply. It was seen as wasteful. You're like, oh, why is this guy, you know, destroying all this food? We have all these hungry people. So we bump on up. 1933, went to 36, and now we're in 1939, where there's kind of been this lull. And Woodrow Wilson has another idea. Him and another gentleman decided, you know what we can do? We'll take these surpluses, this problematic surplus, and we'll package it, and we'll give food stamps or credits out to the impoverished, or the people that don't have jobs or whatever in this time period, and we'll sell it to them, sell them the food at a discount, right? Great idea. Involves both groups that are in a tough time. It just, you know, over time, you know, becomes more conflated and conflicted, and you know, it doesn't really serve the purpose for the agriculture at this stage. The government, you know, with Henry Wallace and those guys, they tried a lot of different things to try to fix a problem that they had caused during World War One with overproduction. And since then, as you know, for not quite 100 years now, but close to 100 years, we've seen the government try to add more and more programs, and it's become more and more convoluted, and it's really kind of hard to sparse out. You know, is a program, you know, for somebody that's in need, or is a program for the farmer? And so this, you know, I mean, when you really just think about it, I mean, when you think about SNAP and you think about a program that's supposed to, help feed underprivileged kids or whatever, why is that run by the USDA, United States Department of Agriculture? Why is that? I mean, that doesn't make sense. You would think that program would really be, you know, separated and be, have its full attention, given to those programs.
So they never just shifted that over from the agriculture department over to another department?
No,
They
it's
never did?
it's been under
Really?
that since 39. So the USDA has been in control of the SNAP program or food stamps, and any of your school lunches and all these subsidies that are there all come out of the USDA budget. So one of the things we have to understand is through history, through time, this thing was very much original agriculture centric, and then we took the access, and that was able to be used in a good way. As time has went on, we've removed agriculture out of it. So you can go buy a candy bar now with your SNAP, right? So that doesn't make sense because obviously we're not planting candy bars and growing them and harvesting and have a surplus of candy bars, right? So it's not even about even nutrition. I mean, it's kind of got beyond the scope that the program was originally set in place. So we produce a lot of food in America, and unfortunately, we're not able to. These families aren't able to capitalize on it like they should. So if we went back to a much more agriculture centric viewpoint from this, it would help. Or altogether, just remove the two so they're not intermingling, and let a different department completely take care of the SNAP side, and just let farming be farming.
So you had said that the food stamp program and the SNAP program was created to help families that were underprivileged during the World War I to World War II era, but it was also trying to give farmers a way to get rid of their surplus food for a discounted price but still get some profit for it. So now that we're losing farms and farmers in America, we don't have that surplus of food. How does that affect the farmer if they're still getting food stamps for that?
When you look at Americans, our production of soybeans, we make over like 13,000 pounds of soybeans per American. So that's a large surplus. That's why these grain farmers have become so dependent on foreign trade, right? So, like I said, the two programs have kind of went opposite directions, but they're still running under the USDA, which is one of those things that I think is problematic because it becomes confusing. It becomes you take an original idea and it's just got so much adaptation through time. It kind of comes this thing that doesn't represent really either one of the original ideas or goals of the way it was based and made. This is the reality of it. The USDA has a budget, and that budget is set up through all these different fundings and programs, right? So they want to fund all these programs, and there has been a huge fight not to separate these food programs and agriculture for two reasons. Number one, the agriculture people believe that the farmer's never going to get help again, that they're not going to be able to get farm subsidies if you remove the food style program out of it, right? So if you're removing the welfare help system away from the agriculture system, they don't think they're going to get funding. Likewise, we don't have really a good place to try to say, hey, our laws should read that we should be able to help people and give them money so they can buy food if they're struggling. It's all under the guise of that. That's why it all has to stay underneath the guise of the agriculture part. So they're using like the idea of the farmer to get their funding for these programs. Does that make sense? So that's why it's funneled all the way through for 70 years.
That sounds like a really good idea. If they both stand independently, they'll be stronger, just like you said, and I think it'll be a really good way to help more people. I definitely learned a lot today. I hope you guys did too. We want to thank you all for watching our very first episode, and we'll see you next time on Farmer Jack and the Advocate.
See you guys.